Welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny, and my hair is almost taller than my face. That's Sal, and that's Dylan. This is the channel where we sit down and chat about your favorite superhero TV shows and movies, and we talk about rumors, discussions, reviews, and we discuss things on an episode-by-episode basis. Today, we are having a look at Hawkeye Episode 5. Quick recap of what exactly happened in here. Kate Bishop met with Yelena Belova. We had a fun back and forth there. We got to see another one of those blipped out scenes involving Yelena Belova. We got to see Clint having a great heart-to-heart with his wife. We got to have a Ronin versus Echo battle, which was really cool. And then everyone teamed up at the ending to figure out what they should be doing. And the big reveal, Sal, I'll let you take. What was the big reveal at the end?
I think we all know what's coming.
What is it, Sal?
Kingpin. So much so, we got a blurry, 2 generations ago phone image of him and a silhouetted comic book image of him overlaying the last credits. Also, no post-credit scene. Boo.
I know what I stand by my statement. What he's come up with a system. Give me a system expected at this point onward.
I think if the system is none, I'm good with that because I hate the wishy-washy on episode 4 they'll start or whenever. It's
Yeah, I don't want to hear who's telling people this stuff. We're not the people who get the information or make up the information and then tell you. We get the information from the same sources that you're getting the information from. So who are these monsters who are by the way, just wanted to let you know that this character's gonna appear this time, and then there was gonna be a post-credit scene on this episode, but not this episode. And
all
they
of
don't
that
know.
was lies. All of that was lies. I read that Vincent D'Onofrio is going to be in episode 4, and then episode 5 we're going to get Yelena Belova based on the IMDb. That could be edited by anyone, guys. Yeah. Anyone. That's
exactly.
Wiki. So let's get to the episode itself. I loved this episode. I straight up loved it. The Yelena scene in the introduction was incredible. The blipping, the way they did it. She walked into a bathroom and came out, and 5 years passed.
Yeah.
I loved the sequence. Let's just take it from there. How did you guys feel about the opening sequence? It was an extended pre-opening.
That was
sequence.
great.
Yeah, it was. This was a well-directed episode that holds up. It was a really nice follow-up to Black Widow, which is wow, I really didn't expect them to do that much Black Widow, but it didn't feel, I'm glad that all the Black Widow sequel stuff happens in the very first minute, and then it's now it's Hawkeye show again. But it didn't look crappy. I was really worried that it was going to look cheap or that it was going to be badly directed or that it, you know what I mean? It's just I was afraid.
I almost skipped the scene by mistake.
Huh.
So we were trying to watch this at our crunch this morning, right? So I booted it up and I'm like, well, I'll just skip the last time, the credits, and get ready.
Oh, sure, yes, me too. I was in the same mindset.
So I was I'm scrolling through it. It looks, the initial couple scenes of them on their knees looked like that scene from Black Widow. And my first thought was, they're just recapping who Yelena is for those who didn't see Black Widow, even though you're on Disney Plus and you could go watch it right now. Right. But I was let me just double check. Let me make sure that is a recap scene and not something new with a slight alteration or whatever. So I let it play and realized what it was, but I almost skipped it. I was almost this is the movie. Man. I've seen that. I'll just go right after the credits.
Yeah. There was no credits. There was nothing to skip.
Yeah.
I do like that every time we see somebody get blipped, it's a little different. The last time we saw it happen was in WandaVision, and that was more of they showed more of a time skip. They made it feel like there was more of time, but this time they were just everyone just came back instantly.
Right.
And it sort of answered the question of at least to me, it answered the question subtextually of if for example, if you were blipped away and then they built a building on top of where you were in the 5 years, it didn't all happen instantly. There was a little bit of time where things got reconfigured. So I imagine
you're now making me picture the horror. Yeah, you're making me picture the horror of the reports of people who just died. Somebody who blipped out of an airplane and came back and there's no plane.
Yeah, I remember reading. Yeah, I think the director or the writer or whoever. I think the original Endgame people were no, just said definitively No, they got blipped like safely.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what's being shown here is even though it did like for all intents and purposes like instantly it happened that Yelena came back, but like the walls slowly changed.
Yeah, that was
her.
like the first time we've seen that, and I was like, is nightmare mode happening? Like, what's going on?
It's Silent Hill.
No, they just redid the bathroom,
right?
No, I did like that though. I did enjoy. I love the special effects they used for that whole sequence. It was great.
Yeah, me too.
The blipping in, the blipping out. The whole sequence was great, where she explained what she's doing. I feel like her accent was a little bit thicker in this than the movie, but maybe I'm just misremembering it.
It's
she
pretty
just
thick.
talked a lot more.
I was surprised.
That could be,
that's
yeah.
true. Yeah. I'm surprised that she hasn't like affected her American accent yet.
Right.
I'm like, you're pushing this still? All right, keep it up.
I think that's her actual accent, because I saw the reveal like on Instagram when she did the "oh, that's me," and it sounded like her normal speech pattern. Like Scarlett Johansson uses the excuse of "oh, I perfected English" because she's American,
right?
But I got a feeling Yelena is not, so I think it would sound even worse if she was trying to put on an American accent.
Yeah, I think Florence Pugh is is at least from Australia or something. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, UK. She's English.
So we go over to Kate seeing her mom saying she's the only one that matters to her. Lies. We all saw that coming 1,000 miles away.
I love how we were just like, okay.
Like, okay, cool, whatever. But then we get Kate and Yelena chatting at the table. That sequence was fun, Kate Bishop. Like, she just kept saying the name. I liked that. And I loved how off guard Haley Steinfeld's acting there was great, because she looked like she's ready to fight, but...
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Exactly.
What did you think about it, Dylan?
I don't like this episode.
Oh, what? How?
I think it's middling. Nothing happens and for a show where they've balanced dialogue and actually progressing the plot forward a lot. This episode kind of screeches to a halt, and Ronan, but like whatever. That's like the last 20 seconds of the episode.
It's not. I can tell you right now what it was, because I paused it to go onto the spin bike, and that was the last 8 minutes of the episode. That whole battle sequence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was a fifth of the episode.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that was the reveal that Clint is giving it up. Like, I'm Ronan. Stop.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I watched the episode. I just think that a lot of this episode to me like kind of encapsulates the problem with, I think, Yelena and Echo both being in this show, where they both kind of serve the same role, and having both of them just muddies it to a degree where it's like, okay, they're both doing the same thing for Clint.
Yeah.
Why are they both here? And like when you start to think about that, you're like, why is Yelena... Because Val gave her the intel that Hawkeye killed Black Widow,
right?
And now the impetus is that because when Kate was like, "Who hired you?" my mind is like, "Oh, well, Val did, obviously."
Right.
But now it's Kingpin, and Yelena didn't know that. So like, what did she just sit until somebody hired her to go kill Hawkeye?
No, I think you're missing. So this is how I took it. Kate's mom hired Yelena. Kingpin hired Echo. Yeah. So they're both going after the same goal, and they happen to know each other. What it seems to me is they're not talking.
Sure. I took it as Eleanor is afraid of Kingpin, and Kingpin is just using her.
Yeah, right.
But again, still, if Yelena was hired by anyone other than Val to go kill Hawkeye, then why is that her motive to go kill Hawkeye? I thought the whole thing was at the end of Black Widow that her goal now was to go kill Hawkeye because Val told her to.
Yeah, that's what they filmed like last minute. Yeah, they filmed that little post-credit scene like last
minute.
So
what changed?
And
also, I just don't.
Did she stall? Yeah, I'll give you this. It does seem like Yelena just was like, all right, cool, so Hawkeye killed it. Does someone want to hire me to kill Hawkeye to make this make more sense?
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's that. Yeah. Did she just sit until someone paid her to get her revenge? It's like I mean, that seems strange.
If you're good at something, never do it for free. You know.
And I did kind of think about that because the whole the opening scene, the cold open, whoever that lady was, that other Black Widow who was became a contract killer. I guess maybe that was like, oh, ever since then. Now she only does things for money. But they really didn't like dwell on that.
I think the
enough.
answer to this can be easy for you. I don't think we thought about this because I don't think they've established this. How long after the blip is this one taking place? Have we established that?
Like a year.
Oh, it's 5 years. Oh no, yeah, that's right.
Well, the blip, yeah, a year after.
Because I'm saying, how long has Yelena been back?
I did a Spider-Man.
I did some math in like the second episode, and it's I think right now the year is 2023. I think, which is a year after the blip. No, it's 2024.
Yeah.
Because time has progressed. Kate said she was 22, and I looked up stuff and did math to figure out that she wasn't blipped, and that she had to. So because of that,
years.
It's been a year or two since then.
Yeah, and we don't know how long it was from Black Widow to the initial blipping.
Sure.
So she kind of spun it, but we'll say Hawkeye was missing up until the blip. Maybe being blipped made her refocus, Dylan, and she was like, I don't want to kill Hawkeye. And then Kate Bishop's mom's like, do you want to kill Hawkeye? Yeah, she's like, I guess I can go get that done finally.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I also feel like I don't love the idea that like Yelena is she's open-minded enough to not kill Kate, to spare Kate, but she's too close-minded to go and talk to her late sister's best friend to figure out what really happened and just take the word of this lady who she's never met before.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's and again like regardless of all that, you could say that's poor writing, or maybe we don't know everything yet. I just feel like the existence of Echo and Yelena in this show has been an issue since last week. We talked about that a lot, where like why is she here? And now it's very evident here where it's like they're both serving the same role to show like a vessel for Clint's trauma, like a physical vessel of it. I just think that Yelena has better ties to it, being Widow's sister, whereas Echo is just like she doesn't have as many ties to Ronin. She has direct ties to Ronin, but Yelena doesn't, just like emotional ones, because she thinks that Hawkeye killed Widow, just like Echo thinks that Hawkeye killed her dad, even though he did, but whatever. Which also, that doesn't make too much sense to me. It's like, yeah, even though Kingpin wanted your dad dead, you still killed him.
Or he didn't. I mean, like, I think the implication is that there might be another Ronin, but we'll see.
Yeah. But, so what's your opinion on this, Al? We don't normally get a Dylan rant. I'm shocked.
No, I know. I enjoyed the episode.
I don't think this episode was horrible. I just think it's not I think it's the worst one so far to me.
Right. I enjoyed it. I had fun. It was, like it. There's such shorthand at this point with shows like these where they're like, I can explain. No time. I'm like, I mean, nobody has patience for that anymore, and the fact they keep like using it is like frustrating.
It's such a great MacGuffin.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I had no complaints. I just enjoyed the show. I had no there was nothing that stood out to me. I was more like, I wish there had been a little more, but the stuff we did get was all like sit down and talky scenes, which I enjoy, so I was happy to get it.
I agree and I disagree with the idea that Echo and Yelena are both being problematic at the moment. Because I feel like the only problem I have with the Yelena appearance is Yelena's excuse for being here. Like, I agree with that. Because Echo's hired by Kingpin. If Yelena finally just tracked down Clint after everything Clint was doing, I think it would have made more sense. Like, even when and that's kind of what I thought was going on until she's like, this is the one who hired me. And I'm like, wait, so you were hired to go do all this?
Right.
Right? I assume that it's just like she had to stay with her friend who's the contract killer for some time to get acclimated and reoriented, even though there's no reason for her to do that because she's a spy and there's no like ground for her to go to at any given moment. So why is 5 years any different? I guess just to reassess any intel she needed. But in that case, she had a vacation working with a contract killer. So I'm guessing that like she had a minute to like sit down and think and
maybe she was like,
reassess.
I don't want to kill Clint. I really don't. I think I should get answers. And then someone gives her the paycheck and she's like, I think I'm over that. I want to kill Clint.
Well, I can get both,
Fair.
Okay, so let's go to the big what moment. I am actually disappointed they're still holding him back to an extent. Like, he's still just a blurry image on the phone.
I mean, he was physically more in an episode from like 2 episodes ago than he was in this one shot. I mean, at the very least, apropos of the complaints about rumors and like false updates, so people are being like, there's a post-credit scene here and there's like a cameo here. There were a lot of rumors circulating about like how Disney Marvel wanted to like have their own Kingpin. So there was like suggestions that Vincent D'Onofrio was going to wear a fatter suit or use CG to augment him so he could be more comic book accurate, which I was like, where is that coming from? And this photo, even like 480 though it may be,
480p.
Yeah, I would. No, it's just D'Onofrio in a white suit. The only thing they did was they kept the white suit that he was like progressing towards in the Daredevil show, which like, thank you. That's all. Yeah. Well, I think he has the ascot in that picture too. So I'm like, yeah.
Well, I think what they're doing, as far as the internet's going, it's exactly what we said. Everyone's just throwing everything against a wall. So if he did show up in a fat suit, I was right, and that kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
We've already established at this point the rumors are so crazy and out there. It's insane. Yeah. Like, I just want to make a channel where I just make up shit. Guys, Spider-Man No Way Home also has Japanese Spider-Man in it. I heard it from a source.
Right. So it's just made up nonsense.
The movie's out. Yes, but if you go see the movie, there's an extra post-credits scene with Miguel O'Hara and Japanese Spider-Man chatting. Trust me, go see it in every theater. One of them has it. Yeah. Remember that Deadpool rumor back in the day? That Deadpool had 3 endings, and one of them had the real Deadpool fighting against the fake one from
Oh, God. Let's hope that doesn't stick around. That's such a terrible idea.
But I don't know. Overall, I liked it. I liked the reveal of Kingpin. It was what we wanted. It was what we were waiting for. We all saw it coming. And it sticks to what I was saying, that they wanted to make sure they got this out before Spider-Man was officially out, because it just lines more up that there is going to be a Daredevil appearance. I have not seen it. I have not looked into rumors. The only thing I'm going off is the supposed leaks. But because I feel like Kevin Feige saying it in that interview was like, hey, wait, what if not everyone watches Hawkeye? Yeah.
Right.
So I'm going to say it in the interview, and it's going to happen in Hawkeye.
Yeah, well, because these people are all movie people. So they all, like, as much as Disney/Marvel is all in on Disney Plus, and they're making these big plans, they're movie people. And so they're like, I mean, I imagine more people are going to go see Spider-Man than they're going to watch Hawkeye. And if Hawkeye were a movie, I bet more people would have seen Hawkeye. And so they're thinking in those terms. So yeah, I think you're right.
So, I mean, is there any more really say? It's the only downside with this episode, going to what Dylan said, not too much happened. It more cemented a lot of theories, ideas, and everyone talking back and forth. Also, Grills is amazing. I love Grills.
Yeah, he's great.
I want him to stick around.
Can I say something that's like, I'm just a little disappointed in something. And,
okay.
I don't know when it's going to, I don't know when the appropriate time to talk about it is going to be, but I'm a little disappointed that Swordsman is kind of wasted in the show. And I don't like Swordsman as a character. I'm not like, oh, justice for Swordsman. But
I was like,
yeah, he got arrested. He's like, I'll be out in a minute. And I'm like, no, you won't. But, I mean, obviously he will.
We only have an episode left. You're not. That red herring is out the window now.
Right. I don't know. I mean, like, he's obviously the fall guy. Like, she's obviously in charge. Like, she dated him to set him up.
Yeah.
But, I was kind of like, when Clint meets him in an earlier episode, I was like, oh, is this the episode where we're going to find out that, like, Swordsman helped Clint in the circus? Like, oh, no? Okay. He's just in the show.
He was the red herring, so that we wouldn't think it was the mom, even though from the second episode we thought it was the mom.
Right, but why? She's the traitor in the Godzilla movie. We already associate her with being a traitor. Like, why the
She
red
also
herring?
came across like an evil Disney princess queen, like we were saying earlier. Like,
right.
Hello, Kate. I just want to care about you.
Yeah, look at my evil but sexy, beautiful, like, garments. Like,
I think that's just another example of my issue with this episode and my issue with a lot of the Marvel Disney Plus shows is just that they throw shit in here without really thinking about it, where it's just like, here's Swordsman, here's Yelena, here's all these, here's Monica Rambeau, There's a bunch of characters, Quicksilver, and they just throw it out there because they'll know it'll make headlines, and they don't spend a whole lot of time making sure that it actually works.
Yeah,
and
which doesn't make any sense to me because like it takes time to make these shows. You have to
Right.
like have costuming and casting and writing and planning, and it takes like years to make this. So why would you go? Oh, and also we're gonna throw in Swordsman, and also we're gonna make like
Right.
Evan Peters Quicksilver. Like
That's
yeah,
why,
it's just-
I'm worried about, and I don't. None of us have seen No Way Home, and I'm worried about it now that I've, this week more than any, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm like, man, they're really putting a lot of junk in this movie. What's it about? Like, what's the
Right.
story of that movie gonna be?
I think this movie's gonna be pretty tight. My expectation is that like the post-credit scenes are gonna feel like a Disney Plus Marvel show or a Disney Plus grab bag. It's just now that we were removed from Far From Home, a Secret Invasion post-credit scene in a Spider-Man movie.
Strange, for sure.
It's so strange.
So,
But yeah.
well, I'm gonna wrap this up for Hawkeye because I do got to run. So we can talk
Yeah.
Spider-Man on Friday after we've all seen it.
Yeah, Friday.
I mean,
Yeah.
literally everyone's seeing it tomorrow.
Yep.
Thank you guys for joining us for this early recording. I appreciate it, Sal. I can see you're slightly still waking up. Dylan apparently woke up super early because like he's just more awake than he normally is. Like,
It's true.
Oh, I'm tired. It's fake. It's all lies.
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us today. Let us know what you thought about this episode of Hawkeye in the comments down below, and we'll be back right here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and join the Absolute Armada today by joining this little family here and talking your theories with us. We'll see you guys next time right here.